Hi there, everyone. Namaste. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of December the 5th, 2022. So this is a week that I am feeling is going to be really emotional. It's going to have a lot of big feels, and part of that is the full moon, but it's also because of the position of Neptune with Jupiter over in Pisces, kind of sending some difficult energy over to the Mercury, over to the Venus, a clash between the sun and Mars. And so I feel this kind of argumentative vibe, okay? Especially because the full moon is going to be in Gemini, right there touching Mars. So it is very important that you stay grounded this week. It is very important that you do not engage with people who are not going to listen to you, right? There is no point in arguing with somebody whose mind is not open to hearing what you have to say, right? So I'm not saying don't stick up for yourself. I'm not saying don't do what's right, but realize that people are going to be really kind of, wanting to scrap this week. Now there is at the beginning of the week, a really nice Chiron blend with the sun, okay, from Aries to Sagittarius. And so there can be some healing and catharsis here, but really try to keep things from being over the top and overly emotional, all right? So we start out the day on December the 5th with the moon in Taurus, and it's going to come together with Uranus. All right, so that is also an energy that can be a little erratic. I really like it for insights, and so make sure you're journaling on that day. It's going to square to the Saturn, so it might be like you're trying to move in a direction, but this gives you if it doesn't at least give you ideas of which way to go, it's going to tell you which way is not going to work. All right, where the roadblocks are, so that you can be creative and find solutions to move around them, right? So, but also, with it coming together, I would pay attention to financial matters too, and make sure you don't get into anything sticky. On the 6th, the Mercury is at the tail end of Sagittarius, and it comes into a harsh angle with the Jupiter. Now, that's going to be in play. It was in the play at the end of the last week. It's in play at the beginning of this week. So it's not just a caution on the 6th, but we're entering the week with this, okay? This is just a big mouth vibe, right? This is, I want to tell you my opinion, and, but I want to break free and be independent, right? So just be a little bit more moderate. And then Mercury is going to change into Capricorn, right? And so all the planets are starting to shift into Capricorn, but that means they've got that last gasp in Sag, and that means they're going to square over, to the Jupiter on their way there. So keep that in mind. Now, on the 7th, we have our full moon at 16 degrees in the sign of Gemini, right there with Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini, right? So whatever area of life Gemini is for you, you're having to something, right? Rethink, re-experience, reform, repair, but it's more about Mars. And, with Mars, it's more about, where do I have to stand strong? Where do I have to be tough? Where do I have to take actions, right? Conscious volitional actions, right? Not just responsive, erratic energy, which, Gemini can lend to Mars, right? It's the warrior. His sword is a pen, right? But, so tone it down and be willing to let go. Let go of angry rhetoric. Let go of the loop in your head that feeds that negative energy, and you keep thinking, I didn't say it. But you thought it, right? Yeah, know that's the same. And this is a full moon to let go of that and really see the consequences of that. And sometimes they aren't your consequences, they're other people. And you always have to see, when you see something going down with somebody else, instead of judging them, say, why am I being shown this? Why is this happening in front of me? What am I supposed to learn about this? Not that you're supposed to stand there in judgment, right? You're supposed to learn something from that. So, really let go of any negative thinking patterns, but also keep in mind that, I think Mars and Gemini is one of those, talk to me about actions. Show me. You can talk about something forever, but until you take actions, that's another thing. Now, full moons are not action oriented, right? They're more about releasing, creating space, but it can make you aware of those situations in your life. All right. Now, all week we've got this Mars-Sun push-pull. Well, on the 8th, they come into the exact push-pull, which I think is going to even amplify this full moon more. This is like a 2-day full moon, right? So again, this, kind of argumentative type of energy. You know, it can bring a balance between wisdom and insight, but watch out for negative shadow gossip, any shadows that relate to either the Mars in Gemini or Sun in Sag, right? High vibe, both of those energies, all right? Those are very philosophical, very learned energies. They want to communicate, express, learn, right? So find a beautiful balance between the big picture and, you know, the macro and the micro, right? Your little world and the big world, okay? All right, on the 9th, we have Venus moving into Capricorn late in the day. Distinct vibe change, right? Now, all of a sudden, we're not, you know, wanting to have the party. We're, you know, wanting to clean the house and get ready. We're wanting to, you know, make a to-do list and get disciplined and be, you know, on track with our goals and aspirations, right? So just a really distinct vibe change. Right before it changes over, of course, it goes through that square to the Jupiter, which can lead to excess, right? Don't overspend, don't overdo. Yes, I know sometimes you have to throw money at a problem, but this is a week to not go overboard with your resources for sure. On the 10th, the Cancer moon sends a nice little sextile over to the Uranus and Taurus. So maybe a day of a few little insights, right? And then on the 11th, we've got that moon in Cancer sends a trine to Pluto. Trine to Neptune. Very inspired, but it stands across the sky from Pluto. And so Pluto can be a little bit of a rug pull here. So be inspired, be spiritual, be connected, be intuitive, but don't be delusional, right? Understand that darkness exists, evil exists, and that's the job of Pluto, to show us where that darkness is. So the sun begins to send a nice little beam of energy, a sextile, a little blessing beam over to the Saturn that's going to be in play as we begin next week. And so that's good for crystallizing things, right? So, you know, Sun in Sagittarius is definitely this world traveler, right? This philosopher, this person who has ideals. And with that sextile to the Saturn, you know, Saturn's over there in Aquarius being like, come on, what about the collective? What about all of us, right? So hopefully we can end the week on a positive note. All right, well, I hope this was useful and helpful to you. Please comment, please like, it helps the channel to grow. I will post the tarot here right after it, and that way you can see the Lotus Isis spread that gives us two options of how to work with the energy. Keep in mind, I am offering a quick little 2023 overview for you personally. If you purchase a hour-and-a-half deep dive gift certificate, that gift certificate can be used, of course, at any time for you, for a deep dive session or for a loved one or friend. So do check that out. All right, have a wonderful week. Namaste. Bye. Hi, everyone. So welcome to the Lotus Tarot spread for the week of December the 5th, 2022, winding down the year. Got a full moon this week, so let's kind of tap in and see what the two different ways we can work with the energy for this week. Thank you for your patience while I shuffle and tune in. All right. All right, so of course the first card is the past, like what the basic influence is. And so we have this Nine of Pentacles. So this is, I call this the independent woman card, right? This is like engaging in being self-sufficient, being independent, making your own money, making your own happiness, you know, being responsible for this, whether you're female or not, right? Really fulfilling those parts of you that, and honoring the divine feminine within you, but also just really taking responsibility for yourself. Now, the present environment is you, and I believe this is like a similar one to one we got for the month of December. It's the Queen of Wands. It's like, I need to take care of things at home, right? We have to find our good, safe, stable home environment in order to move out into the world, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean like a building or a space. It's our own security. Oh, looks like we got a kitty photobomb. Gemini says hi. She's at the doctor today. She's been a little clingy. All right, present environment. There's something going on that we are not seeing. All right, and this is almost like a willful, like, you know, I'm just going to cover my eyes and pretend everything's okay when it's not. So this is the Two of Swords. There's some kind of delusion or not paying attention. It really is, we're not using our discernment. There's something we're not seeing clearly. So this is important to realize. Now, as these influences come together, this culmination results in Three of Pentacles, which means we've made some progress. We're starting something new, okay? But we're just at the very beginning phases. So you may be kind of thinking that you've made more progress than you have in fact made. Key card of the future, the Four of Wands, wanting a stable, safe, abundant home life, right? And having to work to do it, going after it, right? The Queen of Wands, she makes the efforts. The opposing forces in play, we've got the Six of Wands, which is receiving recognition. You know, people are like, oh yeah, you know, appreciating what you do, everything that you have, that you're doing for your family. And then we've got the Knight of Wands, which is more of a card of, it could potentially be anger. We're gonna see how that gets clarified here. Very interesting, both wands, right? The near future, key card, Eight of Pentacles. Wow, so this is showing that you're going to make more progress than you think, right? You start out with that Three of Pentacles, and wow, here you are already at the Eight of Pentacles. You've been working on something, okay? Yeah, so this is really showing some progress. So the modifiers here are, we've got the Nine of Cups, abundance, reasons to celebrate. And on the other side, we have the Sun, being able to shine, being able to be yourself. Paired with the Nine of Cups, we've got this Six of Swords. So this is moving into, kind of moving away from something in pursuit of a more steady environment. And with the Sun, we've got the Ten of Wands, which indicates that there's something that we're doing that we could find an easier way to go about it, right? All right, and I promise to go back and clarify some of this. All right, so the two possible progressions or solutions. Well, over here, we've got the Five of Wands. There's some conflict here, all right? And over on this side, we've got the Queen of Swords, logic and intellect coming into play. Paired with that Five of Wands, we've got the Tower. Oh, joy. So the Tower is definitely things not going according to plan. This is, it's a sudden breakdown in some way. All right, so we're really gonna have to look at this. And then with the Queen of Swords, instead we have the Chariot, which suggests we have everything going, but we need to take action. So clearly the cards have a distinct idea about how to handle the energy of this week, right? In that we are really trying to create, you know, I'm sure a lot of us are trying to make the holidays work for all of us, right? But we're also trying to move forward in our career and with our aspirations, right? And so if you are going with this side, you're kind of like excited about getting some recognition. So you're working. And then maybe, you know, you take a break and you're just having a good time and you're just wanting things to calm down. You want to kind of step away from things for a while. And this could lead to conflict and difficulty, all right? So I think the better approach is to achieve this Four of Wands situation is to take more action, to not just rest on your laurels, all right? And be like, oh, yeah. No, take some actions, take some inspired actions, right? All right, to work towards what it is that you want. It needs to be something where you can really be yourself, right? And don't make it harder than it needs to be. Instead, be logical and take the actions to move forward, right? I know, especially with Mercury going retrograde, it can feel like this is not an action-oriented week, but this spread is kind of suggesting we take the information from this full moon and we keep going, right? And this could be also really related to that Gemini retrograde, Mars and Gemini, right? Because that Mars is going to be right with this full moon. So, and this is like a very Marsy card right here. So, clear indications of which way to take the energy this week. I hope this was useful and helpful. Please like the video. Please comment below. It really does help the channel to grow. And I'll see you next week. Bye.